Hey, fourth grade, it's Mrs. Johnson. What's up? Today we are going to be continuing learning about vocabulary and context. So that's where we have to read a passage and then we kind of have to figure out what the words mean by looking at the information around it or using our other resources we have. So you should have this article. It's called Head Count, and the questions are on the back of the sheet. Mine are on two separate pages, but you should read this article with me, then answer all of these questions, and then we'll go through and see if you did it right. All right, let's begin. As the tallest animals in the world, giraffes have a great view of the zoo. Scientists recently had an even better view from 280 miles above Earth. Animals at the Bronx Zoo in New York City were tracked from outer space with a satellite. This is a bolded word, so I'm going to try and figure out what that means. A satellite is a spacecraft that orbits a planet or moon. Look at that, it tells me the definition right there. The satellite took images of different species of zoo animals and sent the images back to Earth. These pictures showed many groups of plants or animals that are alike in certain ways. Scientists studied the images to see how well the satellite could spot different species. Now, I'm not quite sure what species are, but I'm thinking it's different kinds of animals. I'm going to put a question mark. So, scientists studied the images to see how well the satellite could spot different animals. That sounds right. So far, scientists are pleased with the results. They hope to use the satellite to track endangered animals in faraway places in the wild. Endangered animals are at risk of becoming extinct or dying out completely. So here's what endangered means right here. Basically meaning dying out. Currently, people track animals either by foot or by airplane. So by foot means they walk or hike to see these animals. Scientists think that using a satellite to track animals will be both easier and cheaper. Future plans. Taking a count is the first step in finding out if a species is in danger of extinction. And we know extinction means dying out. Scientist Scott Bergen told Weekly Reader, along with counting endangered animals, scientists want to learn where they migrate. When animals migrate, they move from one place to another. So migrate's kind of an interesting word. They move from one place to another. Why do scientists want to learn where animals migrate? We want to know where to create national parks and other protected areas for endangered animals, said Bergen. That makes sense. All right, now you should go ahead and pause the video, go through and answer all questions 1 through 5, and then press play when you're ready to see if you got them right. All right, hopefully you've gone through and you've answered all the questions. I'm going to start with number 1. A blank is a spacecraft that orbits a planet. Satellite, asteroid, moon, or rocket. Well, an asteroid and a moon are not spacecrafts. So I've got satellite and rocket, and I can't remember which one orbits the Earth. Well, they only talked about satellite. A satellite is a spacecraft that orbits a planet or moon. So it will be A, a satellite. Nice. When an animal is endangered, it means, I remembered endangered was bolded. That's right here. Endangered animals are at risk of becoming extinct or dying out completely. That animal is in a zoo? Nope. They migrate a lot? No. There are too many of that animal? No, definitely not. The opposite of that. There is a risk the animal will die out. Yep. The passage is highlighting animals in a zoo, in the Bronx, in New York City, all of the above. Whenever I have an all of the above, I check to make sure if maybe 1 or 2 of the answers are right, I got to check to make sure all of them are right. They're for sure in a zoo, and it talked about the Bronx Zoo. So it says scientists recently had even better view animals at the Bronx Zoo in New York City. So it's in the Bronx in New York City. So yeah, all of those are correct. So it'd be D, all of the above. Highlighting means to talk about. Discuss. Not like highlight with a marker. They didn't go around and highlight these animals. Scientists want to learn about migration. Now remember reading about that in that last paragraph. So scientists want to learn about migration. Oh, right here. Why do scientists want to learn where animals migrate or migration? We want to know where to create national parks and other protected areas. So they want to know where animals migrate so that they can protect those areas. Let's see, scientists want to learn about migration to know where to build amusement parks. Now, amusement parks are like roller coasters, where like a lot of people would be. So that doesn't really make any sense. To stop migration, I don't think scientists would want to stop animals moving. So they can inform hunters where to hunt. I don't think scientists want hunters to kill these animals. Or to know where to build national parks. Yeah, it talked about national parks. All right, what does migrate mean? Migrate means, remember I always start my sentence off with some of the question, so it's a complete answer. So migrate means, and I remember we read about that in that last section, so I'm going to skim and scan for migrate. Oh, here it is. When they migrate, when animals migrate, they move from one place to another. I like it. So migrate means when animals move from one place to another. Good. You should have something very similar to this. Migrate means when animals move from one place to another. Make sure you have this part. Don't just say when animals move from one place to another, because that's not a complete sentence. Make sure it's got a capital at the beginning and a period at the end. Then you have a complete answer. All right, that was head count. Hopefully you enjoyed that article. It's kind of interesting learning about animals and being endangered and how they're going to track them. All right, fourth grade, get out there and keep learning.